The Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
Price of gold having plunged as markets react to the announcement, the next Fed Reserve Chair, and gold falling 12% on Friday to below $5,000 an ounce. That was the largest intraday price fall since the early 80s. The greenback rebounded after the US president nominated Kevin Warsh for Fed chair. He is seen as less likely to cut official US interest rates than other potential nominees. So as a result, we have seen those gold miners smash today. Actually, it was at the open there, we were looking at some of those miners, such as Northern Star, are off close to 10%. So let's come back a little. Nonetheless, that was no surprise, given where the gold price went. That was always going to be a savage reaction as far as the miners were concerned. So, David, let's start with you then. We talk about how far it's all run. Obviously, if you were there and you managed to take profits on Friday, you would have absolutely been laughing. But where do you want to be now, do you think? Do you still want gold exposure in that space?
Look, I think so. Yeah, I think that we have seen a big sell-off, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to the floor. We've seen a pretty strong reason for gold to be up for quite some time. I think the global uncertainty still is around and will be around for quite a long time. We are still battling with inflation, definitely here in Australia and even in the US. There's still inflation there. So a lot of those fundamental reasons that gold has been strong are still there. And many of the gold stocks in Australia have still been, although their share prices have been very strong and been doing quite well, they're still trading a little bit below where they potentially could be in terms of an earnings perspective, because there's a lot of miners who are getting much better revenue from the better gold price, and they've been able to manage their costs relatively well also. So we've just started the quarterly reporting season for gold stocks. There's a number that have reported already. There'll be some more that report over the coming weeks. We've still got some buy recommendations on a lot of the gold stocks, and days like today, when you see the share prices off quite a bit, maybe an opportunity to look at adding to those if they're not already in the portfolio. But in terms of a portfolio perspective, as you said, the right time to take profits was last Friday. But you've got to look at your overall position. And if you are sitting in gold stocks where there has been some decent gains, you're doing well, potentially you're looking at them and taking some profits makes sense. We've got buy recommendations, as I said, on a number of the big stocks. Ramelius is one that we really like. They're off about 7.8% today. We still think it is a good stock. We like Vault Minerals. It's off nearly 10% today. So, potentially an opportunity to look at that. Pantoro is another one that's off about 7%. So we like them as well. Some opportunities there, but certainly a volatile time. Definitely, a market for those that are keen to take a bit more risk at this point in time.
All right. But that said, obviously you mentioned 2 or 3 stocks there you would be willing to buy at these levels, given where they've fallen back to just in the past couple of hours. Kai, what about yourselves?
Yeah, I think, starting from the broad picture, the fundamental reasons for precious metals still exist in terms of geopolitical risk, US debt, government shutdown, and, basically potential pressure from Trump, even if Kevin gets in. So, I think all the fundamental reasons stay there. In terms of price action, it's going to be volatile. Today, we already saw a bit of a bounce back on the open, so a bit of strength. What I would expect in the next couple of days is a bit of consolidation. It's going to be volatile. It could go back down to lows. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But it's really taken the momentum off that trade. However, I still don't think the fundamental reason is removed at all. But you need to be a little bit more careful and selective in when you enter, because if it continues to correct. From a stock standpoint, as we saw over the run, some of the smaller cap stocks really, really did well towards the end of the run. And it's just that cycle where the big large tier miners go first, as they have stable production lines and they're taking more profit out of it. By the end of it, more the specky small cap gold stocks continue to rally. In this consolidation phase, I would go back to larger players and where it's a bit safer because, as David was mentioning, like they will be getting a lot of profit because, the asset costs for these miners are incredibly low in terms of where the price of gold is now. So, again, the top tier players, you've got, Newmont, you've got Northern Star, you've got Evolution Mining. I think actually the preferred pick now, Newmont's gone really, really well over the last year. It might be still a little bit overpriced. Evolution's, done similarly as well, but I think coming back in this correction, we'd like to have an opportunity to get into Evolution Mining. Northern Star hedges some of their gold, so it tends to lag behind. We have a relative value model. If it lags behind too much, we will get into Northern Star, but it's probably the least preferred out of the big players.
All right, so in terms of Evolution, would you buy it at these levels or you just want to sit, wait, hold it?
I would sit a little bit. Even if you don't have gold, what I'd wait for is a bit of consolidation in price. These, even today, silver's rallied 11% off the open.
Yeah.
These things are going to happen. It could very easily go back down to the lows today. It's incredibly volatile at the moment. I'll give it time to simmer a little bit. I don't think it's one of these moves where you'll get I could be very wrong, but, where it completely U-turns out of it. I would wait for a bit of consolidation before making a decision.
All right, that is the view on the gold space. David there at Ords, willing perhaps got a couple of buys on 2 or 3 stocks there, whereas Kai wants to wait and see, given the volatility it's likely to continue, certainly in the coming days.
It was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.